Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. The title of tonight, the teaching session, and it's really cool because I don't have an early morning meeting tomorrow morning. I've actually got some time tomorrow morning before our leaders call, and excited about that. Some things I've been looking forward as far as doing tomorrow morning, and so that's just really created. Just for me, that's created a desire to really want to spend a few minutes with you tonight, not try to make it so short. I'm not going to go long tonight, but I'm also not going to be looking at the clock like really panicking if I'm not getting you guys off in 10 minutes or so. So I do know that it is Monday night. I do know that Monday's a big run day for so many of you guys, and so when we get to here, it's 9:27 East Coast time, and you know what? There's a lot of you guys out there just worn out. I know you are. Okay, I mean, I went out. I had my first appointment this morning at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock appointment, 11 o'clock call, 12 o'clock appointment, driving all over everywhere. I just actually walked in the door like at about 8:30, 8:35. So if I'm worn out, I know you are. Okay. So last week we talked about the 5 basics of building a team. We talked about names. We talked about people. We talked about checking interest on the telephone to find out if people are generally interested in making some money. We talked about the third step, which is the overview, where we're spending 10, 15 minutes with somebody, and the whole goal of that step is to find out if they're interested in making money the way we make it. Okay, because there's a difference. There's a difference in generally being open to making money and being open to making money the way we make it. Number 4 is really where you just hang loose for a little bit, okay? Because number 4 is where you're really sharing the Equus opportunity. Now we've got a great Equus financial business opportunity PowerPoint. It was shown at our EBO meetings and still being shown at our EBO meetings, and I think that's a really good PowerPoint to sit down and walk people through. So a lot of you guys have that PowerPoint. I'm not a PowerPoint type of a guy. I'd much rather sit down with somebody face to face and draw on my legal pad with a pen, and I love just drawing out Equus Financial and talking about Equus. I love talking about our partner carriers. I love talking about our leads. I love talking about our training. I love talking about Barry Clarkson's leadership at Equus Financial and what that means to me. I love talking about developing distribution and drawing that out, what it looks like, and to be able to put some numbers beside it. And if this guy goes out and he does $2,000-3,000 a month, well, what if this guy's full time and he goes out there and does $4,000 or $5,000 a week? But can you see being able to generate $50,000-60,000 in production in the next 6 to 8 months? Well, what if you're overriding that by 15%? What if you're overriding that by 10%? Dude, what wouldn't it change in your life? So I love sitting down and kind of drawing it out. But number 4 is sharing the Equus opportunity, and number 5 is the follow-up. The follow-up, I did say this in Atlanta. Barry Clarkson's follow-up, which I'm very much in agreement with. When I share the plan with somebody nowadays, once I share the opportunity with them, I'm not doing a follow-up. My follow-up is if you're interested, you need to go get 3 or 4 people and come find me and let's go drink a cup of coffee and let me hire those 3 or 4 people. In other words, I'm not going to slow down. I'm looking to hire people at the level that we are right now. I'm looking to hire people that are really high speed, low drag, man. I'm looking to hire people that are ready to run and they can figure some things out. When I interview people, I try to discern, like, is this guy really got it on the ball, or am I going to have to hold this guy's hand for 8 months? Okay, I'm not doing that right now. Not that I'm above it, but I'm just saying that, you know what, that thank God, but that ship's already sailed in my life and in my business. Some of you guys, you may be there. You may be very much higher than those people. And you know what? Hey, man, it's no big deal, dude. You know, if that's the people that you're hiring and you're getting in depth with and you're hammering out your structure and you're figuring some things out, hey, more power to you, man. So, but the follow-up, here's what I want to say about the follow-up. The newer you are, okay, and I don't know if we have any new people on. It seems like we always have about 20, 25 people on this builder session. So I don't know if it's just the same 20, 25 people that just kind of plug in. If it is, I'm fine with that. But I don't know how many new people and here's the thing, guys. By the way, if we've actually got 25 people that are actively building their business on a weekly basis, I'm just going to watch out, because you talking about a vertical move, not only Equus, but Cornerstone's getting ready to go on a vertical. If we've got 24 people being mindful of actually building their business on a weekly basis, watch the heck out is all I got to say. The earlier you are in the business, the newer you are in the business, the more the follow-up is a step that you need to follow. And here's what I'm talking about. I never like to build somebody's business for them. In other words, I don't want your list, and I'm not calling your list unless you're not willing to call them. If you're not willing to call them, then give me some names and I'll call them. I don't know when I'll call them, but I'll call them. But what I'd rather do is I'd rather teach you how to call them. I mean, do you have the guts to call and have them tell you no? I mean, do you have the guts to get a no? Okay, if you do, then, hey, let me give you a script. And you call them, and all I want you to do is check their interest. And the ones that are interested, here's what I want you to do with them. The ones that are not interested, don't try to talk them into it. So I'd rather teach somebody from the very start how to build their own, because here's what I know. Businesses always grow based on self-image. And if I don't get a guy working earlier than later, then I might not help him develop the self-image that it takes to actually stay in this business. A lot of people have a low self-image because people have done stuff for them their whole life. They really don't have a good self-image because they've never done anything. So just be careful of that. Be mindful of that. But the newer you are, like, okay, so let's say you're brand new as a field underwriter and you've talked to your buddy and you said, hey, are you open to making some money? And the guy said yes. And then lo and behold, you sent him a video of me or somebody doing a 15-minute overview. And the guy said, hey, man, that sounds good. So let me get this straight. You asked the guy if he's open to making money. He said yes. You showed him a 15-minute overview, 10,000-foot overview of Equus, and he came back and he said, I'm interested. So at that point in time, if you're brand new, you need to be getting that person to your upline. You need to be getting that person to somebody that understands Equus at maybe a little bit deeper level than you do, okay? And so that's what I mean by follow-up. It's you brand new people, you people that maybe are not regional manager. Maybe if you're district manager, okay. Sales manager, okay. But get your new people to somebody in your upline that maybe has a little bit more belief. Is it okay if I say it that way? Somebody that's got a little bit more belief in the system than you have, then what they're going to be able to do is they're going to be able to take their skill level and they're going to be able to actually help you with it, because they're going to be able to actually attract people to Equus that maybe you wouldn't be able to attract at that level and get them to start taking action. So hopefully that makes some sense. So we talked about the 5 basics to build a team. Now, the thing that I want to talk about tonight is that I want you to commit. If you're going to commit to building an organization, then I want you to commit to actually building the right structure, okay? And the number one thing that you have to be mindful of is getting wide. Okay. So all of you out here, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. I don't know what it is, but all of you out there, you want to be a leader in the business building side of your business. You want Barry Clarkson to wake up and start to see you. Like, I'll tell you guys, like I was on the phone with Barry for, I mean, it was darn near an hour and a half yesterday afternoon. And I tell you what, I wish I had a dime for every time he mentioned Jamie Trent and Kevin Hopkins. I mean, he's just aware of them. He likes their leadership. You know, those guys, they're not flash in the pan guys. They're kind of hammering it out. They've both been through some negative, and they've both, you know, they're both really making an impact in Equus. And so it's just neat that off the cuff, just him talking, it's just neat him mentioning their names. It's also neat hearing how he talks about Ollie Collins. I mean, it's just really neat. I mean, like he mentioned Ollie a few times yesterday, and he mentioned a little bit about the OTC meeting in Michigan a few weeks ago. And he just and the thing about it is that he's mentioned that to me now for a couple of weeks. But it's just neat that that he actually does that. And I you know, kind of going down a rabbit trail there. I'm going to come back, and because what I want you guys to know is that all leaders, they have width. Okay. I've got like, so I try to develop this type of structure about once a month. Like, I want to go wide. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I want to hire, and I don't even know if you can see these names. It doesn't really matter, but I've actually got Brian Nicely on here. Okay. So this has kind of been a new batch of width. I got Brian Nicely right there. Got his upline, who I think his upline is going to be a stud. I've got Tom Wolf over here. Tom Wolf was my Uber driver, and you guys see Tom on the group me. Tom's taking action. I mean, you know, Tom's in a great marketplace. He's in the Metroplex, Dallas, Texas. I mean, if that guy's got any ambition at all, that guy's going to be able to put together a regional manager team in the next 6 to 8 months. You know, got a new guy that we hired out of San Jose, California. Got a new guy that we hired out of Vegas. Got a lady that we hired in Fayetteville. So this is just all like new width. Okay, so anyway, so. But what I'm saying is that if you will commit to width, get wide, like every 30 days, if you're out there building your team, every 30 days, you want to put a new batch of about 7 to 9 in. Now, here's what's going to happen. Out of those 7 to 9, you're going to have most of them will fall by the wayside. I'm just going to tell you, most of them will fall by the wayside, okay? Most of them, they might not quit, but they're not going to take a lot of action either, okay? And so the ones that fall by the wayside, let them fall by the wayside. Quit taking your energy trying to revamp them and blow it up, you know, blow them up. Just stop doing that, okay? The ones that where you're the ones of you, those of you that are wearing yourself out by trying to get the wrong people to do the right things, the only reason you're wearing yourself out is because you're not putting in new width every month. And so you have an appetite to grow and you have an appetite to build, but you're not putting in new candidates that are going through the system and identifying themselves as, hey, you know, this ain't that hard. Make a phone call, go sit down with somebody, call an upline in a home and go, hey, what do you recommend? It's not that hard. You know, like, hey, I've already written 3 applications. It's not that hard. there are more Brian Nicely's out there. There are more Crystal Arendts out there. So what I always tell people is it's a lot easier to find winners than it is to make winners. So if you're working with the same people that you were working with, 10 months ago or 3 years ago, I'm just saying like that's a sign that, hey man, why don't you commit to putting in some new wit, dude? I'll bet those people on your team that you keep trying to make them do what they're not ready to do yet, I bet they'll be excited for you. They'll actually tell you, hey, I'm proud of you, man. Because they'll be so relieved that now you'll actually have people to work with that, you won't have to, go badger them, like you've been doing. So the building system made simple, you've got names, and then you've got a funnel that you take people through. The funnel of checking interest. Are you open to making money? Are you open to making money the way we make it? Fantastic. Let me share Equus Financial with you. Let me get you to my growing up line, somebody that can maybe help move you forward, okay? If those are the steps to build your team, and then you understand that, hey, my first goal from a structure standpoint is to get wide, Now, please write this down if you can. Width is simply a function of activity. Activity meaning what, John? Writing applications? No, we're talking about business building activity right now. We're not talking about field underwriting activity. So activity and belief. What's my activity? Your activity is actually sharing the opportunity. How many people are you sharing the opportunity with on a weekly basis? How many would you say? Would you say it's maybe around 5 to 6, 8 to 10, 15 plus? I'll tell you this, if you really compare the amount of people you share the opportunity with the number of people that top field underwriters actually sit down and actually have a sit with on the sales side, it really does, for those of you guys that figure out how to go out there and share the opportunity with 5 to 8, 10 people a week, I'll tell you this, dude, you're growing. For those people that go out there and share the opportunity, I don't know, one, 2, 3 times a week, I'm not saying that they're not growing, but it's at a slower clip. And the thing about it is that they never really take advantage of momentum. Not like somebody out there sharing it 5+ times a week. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And the guy that's out there sharing it 1 time a week, bless their heart, they're not really going to be able to keep up with attrition. So it's almost like they just simply replace the ones that are quitting anyway. So anyway, but I don't want you guys to have to figure it out. I want to be able to share this with you because I really am telling you that right now with Equus Financial and right now with the growth spurt that we're on, it's such a good time to grow your business. And if you'll simply just turn yourself loose, something I talked about in Atlanta that it seemed like it had an effect on a couple of people, but I really talked about the passion that a business builder should have. And that passion is not necessarily to grow your team for your ego purposes. That really doesn't last more than about 2 days, okay? The passion of a business builder is somebody that understands what happens when you actually go save a life. And I'm not talking about writing an insurance policy. I'm talking about when you share the Equus opportunity and the opportunity that somebody has to own and operate their own business. Somebody can actually have a real business where they actually create distribution for awesome insurance companies, and these insurance companies pay like crazy. And what you actually do by sharing that opportunity and giving somebody hope, what do you do when you give somebody hope? What do you do when you take, because you shared Equus Financial, and now when you leave that home, that pilot light is now lit. Like all of a sudden that light comes on in their eyeballs, and all of a sudden they start thinking, what if this works? What if this is what we've been looking for? What if this is what we've been praying for? And I'm going to tell you what, you go out there and you have a few of those encounters. You know, it's a lot like having a client pass away and you realizing that you did absolutely change their life through field underwriting. It's a lot like that. And you become very addicted to sharing the Equus opportunity, because what you know is that there's a lot of people out there that really need what we have. And so I'm going to encourage you guys to be mindful of how many times you're sharing the opportunity. I'm going to ask that you be mindful of the 5 basics to building a team, and always know what step you're on with every single person. And if you feel like that you're on step number 5 and you need to get that person to a growing up line, by all means, get them to a growing up line. Let that growing up line help you move them forward, okay? And so, but the structure part, okay, please let me know that you got that. Please let me know that you understand how vital it is that you go out over the next 90 days and really build you a massive base of width. I'll tell you guys this, and I'll leave you with this, okay? We're going into the very best building months out of the entire year. September, October, November, and December are the very best building months out of the year. I'm going to make you a promise, okay? I know we've got an incredible contest going on now. I know there's so many of you guys out there, you're drooling over those Rolex watches. And you ought to be, because I really do think that some of you guys are in a great position to go win a few of those Rolex watches, okay? But I'm going to make a promise to you, and I want you to write this down. And I really want you to let me know that you get this, okay? If you will go out over the next 90 days, over the next 3.5 months, okay? Yeah, 4 months, 5 months, I get it, okay? But if you'll take and commit to over the next 90 days to go out there and put 3 separate batches in of 7 to 9, that's going to be 21 to 30 sharp people that you've hired. And here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? When you get wide, massive width, you're going to allow for people to identify themselves, and you're going to have people come out of there, and maybe they were the ones that you would have picked. Maybe they're not the ones that you would have picked. But out of that many people in width, you will have 5 to 7 people really identify themselves as like they're going to be huge at Equus. And I will tell you guys this. When you have 5 to 7 brand new people start competing against each other, your organization is going to explode. Do you hear me? Your organization is going to explode. And it all started with you putting in the right amount of width. Most people don't put in the right amount of width. They put in way too few, and then they try to micromanage them to death. Don't do that. Go out over the next 90 days. Put you a real big-time base, big width. You're going to separate yourself from a leadership standpoint. Barry Clarkson's going to know who you are, because you're going to have the smoke of battle on you. And by you putting in that structure, you're going to identify some really good right people. And when those right people start competing against each other, your organization is going to explode, and your life's going to change, dude. Your life's going to change big time. So God bless you guys. Thanks for plugging in.